Cachet's doing super. She obviously had quite a long winter break and has come back sort of almost better than ever. You know, we're not going to rush her. I think the 4-year-old fillies campaign doesn't really get going until, you know, at the higher level until sort of after Royal Ascot. So races like the Chartwell at Lingfield on the 13th of May are certainly sort of on the cards for her. I think a drop back in trip is where we might see her, certainly to start off with. She showed enormous pace all through last year and did well to see the mile out, but look forward to seeing her back in trip. She was obviously bought the Tattersalls Craven Breeze Up sale a couple of years ago and was highly advised by John Burke, who breezed her. She was, for me, she was always a very good physical, and her breeze matched that. She wasn't immediately the fastest breezer there. She sort of breezed in the middle of the pack, but you know, we were looking for horses with a bit more longevity, and you know, she never looked like a 5 furlong early 2-year-old, but yeah, she had a great attitude, and I think the way that, you know, she galloped out in her breeze was the thing that certainly Jake Warren, who, you know, him and Harry effectively bought her, that was really what pleased them, and no, she's got a great mind, and that's kind of what's kept her going so long. I think she was working sort of 2 weeks after the sale, and I never really thought I'd say it, but I remember calling Harry, and she showed so much pace in her first bit of work that, you know, we actually entered her in the Mary Gate first up, and you know, I think that was a sign early doors. I think had there been a couple of years further down the line, I might have run her first up in that, but we slightly lowered our sights, you know, and tried to win a maiden with her, and she did it with sort of the minimum of fuss, and I think from there, you know, she got a pretty decent time form rating early doors, and Royal Ascot was always the plan with her, and no, yeah, look, I think if the ground hadn't been quite so soft that day, it was a huge rainfall, we might have seen a different filly. She kept jumping up in grade, and you kind of get forced your hand really with fillies like that, because they're picking up more and more black type, and she was only a maiden winner at 2, and you know, the jury was out, but she ended up at the Breeders' Cup, and I think had we not possibly done quite so much on the front end to get that track position that we needed to, that I wanted to, you know, she might have finished even closer. She'd only beaten a length and a half in a Grade 1, and it was a very special day, and I think, you know, plenty of the Highclere team were out there to see her, and having a horse come from a Breeze Up sale to a Breeders' Cup is pretty cool. I think all the way through from when Jake, Harry and I spoke on the, you know, when we got back from America, we wanted to give her a good break and prepare her for a Nell Green and then into a Guineas, and course form was a big thing with her, and I think, you know, we put her in the French Guineas, but the English Guineas was always the main aim, and her work was good. She was very forward in her coat, and you know, she trains a lot on the track here, which obviously suits her. She breathes very well on the track, has good course form there, and it always lent back to the Guineas with her for me, and the way she won the Nell Green, I think possibly had she been trained by a more senior trainer, she might have been a shorter price for the Guineas, and in hindsight that might have played into our favour, people not thinking that she would stay, and she was given a brilliant ride by James Doyle. I think, you know, he put a lot of work in with her before and galloping her, and he was working her as a 2-year-old, and I always said she knew every blade of grass on that Rolly Mile and knew where the line was, and luckily it came in time. It was a pretty good day, yeah. It was, it'd be hard to be topped. We had some good days last year, but you know, I think there was a huge story behind Cachet, and the people, you know, I got to know everyone very well through it, and you know, it's great for Highclere, their first classic winner in the double blue, obviously motivator for Royal Ascot Racing Club on the Derby, but to get those blue colours in front was an incredibly special day.
And James Doyle to the Guineas Salmon Cachet.
Yeah, look, it wasn't by design that she had a long break. You know, she did miss plenty of work in the autumn, but you know, to nearly be a dual classic winner was very special. I think I possibly might have got the tactics slightly wrong. We possibly should have made more use of her in France, and she, you know, she was battling back at the line and, you know, showing that courage that she has. And but yeah, Acclaim was a Group 1 winner at 4, and if she can follow the footsteps of her father, there might be more to come.